Mississippi Judge Crystal Martin is in the hot seat after she ordered a newspaper to remove an editorial criticizing the mayor and city leaders. The opinion piece says Clarksdale city leaders did not notify the paper about a meeting regarding a proposed tax on alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco. City's lawsuit called the editorial libelous and says it hindered the city's effort to lobby for the tax with state lawmakers. Journalists and newspaper staff say it's a shocking and direct assault on the First Amendment. Joining me now to talk about it, Chief Legal Analyst Rhodes. Let's first address the city's first claim here. Does this constitute libel?
I don't think it reaches to that level, but even if it does, there are a number of ways to protect and stop something from this, or I should say to be compensated if you believe that someone has published something that is liable, but this is not the manner to do it. In the manner in which this judge implemented them taking it down, this is an extreme form. We're talking about First Amendment rights, right? We're talking about something that is protected by the Constitution, freedom of speech, but also freedom of press. And so to be able to chill speech, and I've said that a number of times here, the chill speech, you have to jump over a lot of hurdles. But when you're talking about chilling the speech of the press, it's not a hurdle. It's like a mountain that you have to jump over. It's something called prior restraint. And prior restraint can either be by statute or it can be by some type of case law, or it can be by a judicial decision, something like an injunction, which happened in this case. It's rare. It's extremely rare. I'm talking about like 1931, 1971, Nixon, that type of rare. When they were attempting to stop a paper from publishing documents that they were thinking that was going to stop national security. And even in that case, the court said, you know what? This hurdle's so high, you guys have not proved enough. They can continue to publish it. I think this judge was 100% out of line, missed the mark in terms of what the standard is. And because of that, I think that they will have a lengthy hearing. They don't even have to appeal it because this was an emergency basis. So after the emergency basis, they'll have a full-fledged hearing. At that full-fledged hearing, I think the judge will have a number of problems in front of her.
Freedom of the press, one of the pillars of democracy here. Was this an attack on the First Amendment, though?
100%. I mean, clear violation. This you have to jump. I mean, I can't stress it enough. I mean, this Olympic-sized hurdles that you're jumping over. The highest thing you can think of in the legal standard, this is not something to play lightly. And let's put the perspective. This was an emergency basis. So she did it without even giving notice to the paper that they would have to be there to have an opportunity to be heard, and then orders them to take it down and then has a hearing set for 7 days. So now you're talking about violating my rights as the paper for 7+ days while I wait for you to make the determination. The standard for libel or defamation or any of those types of things, or slander I should say, is did you know that it was actually false when you published it? Well, they're making this report, this editorial is a statement saying that no, what we're saying we believe is true. We believe you guys were doing things malicious. We believe you had open records violations. Open meeting violations. We believe that you are doing things of misappropriation with funds. This was, I put it in one of our Jody Barr type of pieces, where their investigation, public corruption within their town and their city, and they're calling out elected officials. They should be free to do that without interruption. You cannot like my story, but you can't tell me to take the story down just because you don't like it. That's where not only have they violated their rights, they've clearly violated the Constitution.
Yeah, we've seen this type of thing, attacks on the press, happen more and more frequently here. And just last year, former Kansas police chief charged with obstruction of justice after he led a raid on a newspaper.
Led a raid on a newspaper because they thought they accessed documents trying to follow their story. You want to verify what you have got before you put it out there. They went out there and verified it. In that Kansas situation, they thought they accessed the computer database illegally. Come to find out that they actually didn't. So while they were trying to verify their information, the folks that were in law enforcement that should have verified it before they went out and got a warrant, before they went out and raided these locations, didn't even verify their information. So now, as you mentioned, that person's being brought up on charges. I mean, this thing is getting really, really murky. But what I know is extremely clear. The Constitution is still there, and you have to follow it even if you don't like it.
All right, we're going to have to see where this one goes, if it'll get resolved quickly here for sure. All right, Chief Legal Analyst Rhodes, thanks.